Hi, I'm Amalia Brightly-Gillett, Managing Director and second generation of Family Business Place, and welcome to Family Business in 5, where I tackle some of the most common problems that we see in family businesses in under 5 minutes. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, Ali from People Puzzles. Welcome, Ali.
Thank you.
And I want to know, are you suffering from any of these leadership team problems? So, Ali, tell me a bit more about this before we delve into it.
So I've worked with small and mid-sized businesses for the last 10 to 15 years, many of them family run. And over that time, I've seen some common repeated problems and things that I think if a business could tackle them and move on from it, they'd be in a much better place to be able to sort of stabilise and then go on and grow.
Amazing. And that's what we want to see for family businesses. We want to see them grow and thrive and flourish. So can we tackle this in under 5 minutes?
Let's give it a go.
Let's give it a whirl. Start the clock. Okay, so talk me through some of the most common problems that you see with leadership teams.
So firstly, I think it's having the wrong people on the team. So that could be for a number of reasons. It could be that as the business has grown, more and more people have been invited onto the senior team. If you like, the senior team is a collection of heads of department. And then you could get to 8 or 10 or 14 people I've even seen. And that means it's really hard to make decisions because there's so many people around. It also means that some of those people are not actually strategic thinkers.
Yep.
They're just people who happen to lead a department. So take a mid-sized business that has, say, 6 or 7 departments. One of them might be actually really tiny and only one person in it, but they're still on the senior leadership team because they're a head of department. Yeah. Or you might have a situation where someone was great at their job when the business was 30 people, but now the business is 100 people, and it's not really the right place for them anymore.
Absolutely. Okay, your second point.
So we talked about wrong people, then there's wrong roles. So I'm a firm believer that as a business grows, you need to look at the organisation structure and say, is it still fit for purpose? And actually, we see lots of businesses pivoting from being product businesses to service businesses, or tech businesses becoming, more about people. And so you might end up with the roles being wrong. And then you might have the right person in the wrong role, or you might have the wrong role, just it's not been identified properly, it's not clear what's expected of them. So it's really important regularly to say, what should this senior team look like? Let's start with the roles, and then let's see if we've got the right people afterwards.
Brilliant. Okay, what's the third problem you see quite a lot?
So I think it's a lack of clarity around where's the business going and what am I really responsible for? So one of the things we encourage people to do on senior teams is to just write a quick list. What are the 5 things that you're responsible for? The 5 key things. That might be written on a job description in a drawer somewhere, but it might not be fit for today.
Yeah.
And you can do that exercise with your senior team. Everybody write down 5 things that they're responsible for and then compare them. Is one thing on 2 people's lists, or is something really important on nobody's list? So it's a really good exercise.
Brilliant. Okay, and a fourth problem you see?
Fourth problem is around sort of CEO interference is what I've called it, but let me explain. I think if you've got particularly a family business or a business where somebody has done a job and then they've changed jobs to be at a different level, you can find a situation where instead of then letting people get on with their jobs that they have now, you interfere and undermine under the managers you've got in that room. And then people in the business are really unclear about who they really report to and who's telling them they've done a good job or not. And actually, it really undermines those managers. It sort of cuts them off at the knees if you've got someone else telling your team what to do and how to do it.
Absolutely.
So I see that problem often in family businesses, I'm afraid.
Absolutely. Okay, and the final challenge you see?
I think it's around having a lack of conflict. And it's funny because some people think conflict is a good thing and some people probably think it's a bad thing, and we're all wired differently about what kind of conflict levels we can cope with. But take a senior leadership team where one person who's maybe the owner or the senior member of the family has an opinion, and then nobody challenges them and nobody's willing to present them with data that says, actually, what you're saying doesn't make sense for where we are now.
Yeah.
My view is that a really good senior leadership team has active disagreement. It's not personal, it's not angry or aggressive, but it's giving space for people to disagree, debate ideas, and come to a better decision because of the conversation. And the alternative to sort of aggressive conflict is a place where people, they disagree internally, but they won't say it.
Yeah.
So then you've got a senior leadership team of people who are not willing to be honest. And I also don't think that's very healthy.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's recap on those problems that you see in leadership teams. And are you suffering with any of these? The wrong people,
Yeah.
the wrong roles,
Yeah.
a lack of clarity, CEO interference, to put it politely, and having a culture of no conflict. Does that about sum it up?
That's right.
Brilliant. Let's stop the clock. Well done, we nailed it.
Yeah. And I think it's really important that you can go on a journey of fixing all of those things.
Yeah.
If you start thinking about your team and who's on it and how they work together, and there's loads of programs you can do to actually build your senior team to get over some of that stuff.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ali. And I'll leave you with those ideas, something to think about and go back and think about in your family business. But before you go, remember one thing. The more successful your family business, the bigger your family's impact.